Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this session of Sitting In, the last jazz room concert of the year. And to celebrate that, we have two major voices with us. We have great pianist Bill Charlap, who I'm very proud to say is my partner in crime, running things at William Paterson. We have just finished a rather miraculous year here at school, actually doing almost everything in person so that we have, we've kept the students sane and playing this music. And welcome, Bill. Thank you so much. And we have with us today a very special guest, in my opinion, one of the great tenor saxophone voices on the planet right now, a gentleman who really embodies the history of this music, Mr. Houston Person. So glad to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. So, Houston, when did you, I know you started as a pianist at first, but where and when and how did you discover the saxophone?
Okay, let's clear it up. I didn't start as a pianist.
Well, you didn't.
I took piano lessons like everybody did when I was growing up. It was just, every home had a piano, which I wish they did now.
Yeah.
But every home had a piano, and you took, it was obligatory lessons that you took before you could go out and play and do everything else. And to get some kind of, they call it then a little foundation, a little background in music. But I wasn't a pianist.
Okay.
Where did you grow up, Houston?
South Carolina, Florence, South Carolina.
And you started playing saxophone there in school?
Yeah, in high school. Yep, my next to my last year, I was a junior. And my parents gave me a tenor saxophone for Christmas. I don't know how they knew that was my destiny. I'll never know. I think about it a lot too. How did they know between my brother and me who got the saxophone? That was amazing.
Some things are meant to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And were you just playing in the band at first, or were you starting to play out when you were in high school?
No, I just played in the high school band. Now, you have to understand, I was occupying a chair in the high school band. And developing to be one of the top fakers in the world.
Well, that's ultimately our goal.
Yes. So, but they tolerated me, and it was great. And I fell in love with music, and I left sports alone. And I wanted a career in music.
Well, your humility speaks for itself, but I can't think of anyone who plays the instrument with more grace, and anyone who the instrument is more an extension of their personality and feeling. What comes out of your horn is an extension of you, and you're like one of the great singers in a way to me, as well as a virtuoso instrumentalist.
Well, thank you. But don't lay it on too heavy. I might start believing it.
I'm just telling the
truth.
When did that voice start to appear, Houston? When did you really start to develop it?
When I guess when I went into service, when I went to college, my first year in college, I fell in love with the band that played for our junior senior prom, which is a band from South Carolina State College. I said I want to play in that band. And I got involved with musicians from Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston is really famous for all the great musicians. They come from there, like Cat Anderson, Freddie Green, Aaron Harvey, Julian Dash. And a lot of the musicians stayed there. So there's a tradition there. And based on sound, I learned to really try to get a beautiful big sound on the saxophone. And I listened to those kind of guys. And my initial influence was Illinois Jacket, which was a great musician and a great entertainer at the same, because most of the guys had to be, well, not had to be, it's best to be both, have some of the qualities of entertainment. And I found out that the best musicians were the best entertainers. And so I tried to follow that tradition. And I was exposed to the dance bands, like, you know, Lionel Hampton, Buddy Johnson, all those bands were coming through the South then. And I got a chance to hear all the greats. Paul Gonsalves, all these guys had beautiful individual sounds. And that's what amazed me about then. Everybody had a beautiful sound and knew how to approach a song as far as ballads, or knew how to play any tempo, but weren't afraid to play ballads. That's where you got a chance to really shine and show your sound.
And that is really it, isn't it? I remember the first time I heard you on record and again in person. I mean, your sound just knocked me out, you know?
Oh, thank you.
And you have always been a huge influence on me in your sound, just the way you carry yourself. It's
well, I you know, it sometimes it's so easy to do your part to sell a song, because now a lot of guys shy away from it. But I've got a world full of writers, the best writers in the world. I've got at my fingertips. And all I have to do is look up in the left-hand corner, see how they want it played, and play it. And get an interpretation of the lyrics. And it's all I have to do. My work is done.
It reminds me of something wonderful that Eddie Locke once said to me about young musicians he was hearing. He said, so many players are trying to play great that nobody's playing good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And what you're saying, of course, I know how much you love the songwriters and the lyricists and the deep respect that you have for the song as a song in the first place, just telling the story. And it is enlightening to hear that the lyrics and the melody as the composer wrote it is the paradigm for you. I think that's
well, but they're the great ones. And there's so much there. And really, we haven't really got into a lot of the composition that these great composers wrote. There's a lot of stuff just lying there. Nobody's I heard Sinatra sing a song the other night, Just As Though You Were Here, which is a great song, but nobody does it.
You know, everybody thinks I know a lot of songs, and I always tell them, no, Houston person knows a lot of songs. I just know the tip of the iceberg of what Houston knows. And yes, you know, there's something else I wanted to mention. I remember being on the jazz cruise a couple of years ago, and we were sitting in kind of the large dining and ballroom area. And the way it was set up is that I was on the upper tier. Renee and I were having dinner with some other musicians and friends, and you were playing downstairs with your band on the bandstand, which was up against the back wall, which was, of course, a window out to the sea. It looked beautiful. But there were dancers. There were dancers on the floor. And I remember leaning over on, you know, the looking over the first tier, as it were, is kind of how it was. And I'm watching you and listening and watching to how you were playing the song, you were playing a performance, but you were playing a dance. And it was a lesson in how to make a set that flows, that moves for the dancers, that gives everybody all different types of tempos, all different types of feelings, all of the repertoire that you were drawing from, the essence of the blues that was there in certain pieces. And I know you were doing this all improvised. It was all on the fly, but with a band that really understood their leader. It was truly the work of a great maestro. And watching what you were doing and listening to what you were doing, I was really in awe of the mastery of how you handled every moment, and with ease and with no pretense whatsoever, but with complete mastery. And everybody was having the best time. There wasn't I don't think there was anything, there wasn't a cerebral moment, yet it was guided by the deepest intuitive and absolute intelligence at every moment. It was really something, and I'll never forget it. It was one of the unforgettable listening moments in my life. Listening to you was just for you, it was just a set. And I know you've done thousands like that, but it was truly remarkable.
Well, thank you. I don't well, everybody I played with, even when I'm a guest, they always tell me, you picked the set. Because, well, I pride myself on having a vast repertoire I can draw from.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to read the audience as quick as they read me. Because they're looking too. And that's why I try to cover every detail, even down to dress. When you get on the bandstand, you should look like you're there. Because in that split second, they've already decided whether how much they're gonna listen to you and whether they're impressed. You haven't even put your instrument in your hands yet, and you've already been judged. So I try to cover every detail and make sure that well, the first thing we have to figure too is jazz is simply dance music. That's what it is. Basically, when a customer or a patron is leaving, and the best compliment you can have is your music made me want to get up and dance. Then you know you've done a good job. That's the way I judge my job. The same as Buddy Rich when he's playing. He said if people stop to dance, he isn't doing his job. They're supposed to continue if he's playing a dance. Once you draw their attention away from that. But dancers can help you too by giving you the tempo. If you just watch Uh, and because you got tricky tunes like Stomping at the Savoy, everybody invariably plays it too fast.
Mm.
And then you look at the tap dancers when they do it, then you hear that tempo. The tempo is right in there. Oh, this is fun talking about this.
Would you sing us the tempo where Stomp?
I was just going to say, give us 8 bars of that.
Oh, no. It's just that, well, you think of that, the tap dancers, da 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 da, but everybody wants to go da 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 da. That ain't it. Not for that. And then you find that you get into the song more, So you can learn a lot from the dance. It's a give and a take thing. So everybody's participating. Like in what I hold against some areas of our music is that we shut the dancers off. And people can't have fun with it. There's no participation, audience participation. And a lot of people get riled at sitting there looking at you have fun and they can't have any. And they might want to get up and dance, they might want to clap their hands, they want to do something, I forgot who it was. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it was, well, I shouldn't call it a name, but a great rock star said, jazz is great, you just can't do anything with it. So I try to incorporate that even when the audience is sitting and still try to bring that dance feeling to whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that when they're sitting there, they can do something too, at least imagine that, sway something. So try to keep all those elements and try to still impart the lyrics. I read a lot of lyrics. I approach them as poetry. See, Robert Kimball, I think, wrote a book called Lyrics. And it's got about 1,000 lyrics in it with all the great songs. No music, just the lyrics. And I read that from time to time. Not a whole lot, just, I have the sheet music too. I get the sheet music for everything I play. So at least I know how to play it right, and then I can mess it up.
Well, there have been so many times when you've called me and said, Bill, do you know this song? And, I know that you are ever finding new repertoire and new songs that you want to explore, and always mining the beautiful work of the great songwriters. And
Yes.
there's something else. It's a very comprehensive view of the great songwriters too, the great theater writers, great jazz writers, and incredible. There's a whole songbook that you also know that consists of people like, Percy Mayfield and Buddy Johnson, and the great African-American writers who are not, I think, enough canonized the same way as when we talk about Gershwin, Kern, Berlin, Arlen, etc.
Yeah. Well, those R&B writers, Henry Glover wrote a lot of stuff, like Drowning My Own Tears, and I Love You, Yes I Do. And a lot of them are transferred over, crossover they call it, from a Black audience to a white audience, and vice versa. like a tune like Little Willie John, Fever. Who's Peg Lee had a big hit on that. You know?
And because of Peggy, there's a great crossover there.
Yeah,
Sure.
Peggy stayed over in that vein. She did a lot of that, you know. And Sandy did one.
Yes.
Heavenly Father.
Yes. And on Go Johnny Go.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Houston is talking about my mother, Sandy Stewart, who played the female ingenue in a very early classic rock movie, which was, I believe, the film that introduced, forgive me. Well, the film was Go Johnny Go.
Mm.
And it was all the great rock acts of that time, and she was the female ingenue. But a lot of those songs were chosen because they were public domain at the time too.
Yeah.
So but that was the first film that introduced Chuck Berry.
But I think too, in fact, by honing in on those, and some of those tunes are great. Like Since I Fell for You, it enhanced your repertoire because you can draw from other things. And you have people, some people haven't heard songs like, you take a song like The Masquerade Is Over, that little Jimmy Scott used to sing for an R&B audience. And I played it for a predominantly white audience one night. They'd never heard it. But it was written by Magnuson.
Kurt Magnuson and Ali Rudel, who wrote Gone with the Wind also.
Yeah. So it's a lot of music out there that you can keep your audiences surprised with and exposed to that like You've Changed, and what Etta James did with that last, Harry Warren, and those guys just were writing,
Warren was particularly interesting because he seemed to be able to write, well, he could write a song like At Last, and he could write the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe.
Yeah.
He could pretty much write, or The More I See You, or he was an amazing writer. He was very, very versatile.
Yeah.
He wrote, didn't he write That's Amore? I think so. Well,
yeah.
He wasn't Harry Warren. He was
well, that was Jay Livingston, I think, in Evans.
Oh, is that right?
I think so.
It could be.
Hey, it's all right. Whoever.
Yeah.
It was a great song. And I was looking at that the other night, some Italian songs that are great. A tune I like to play though is Feelings. And musicians knock me on the side of the head for that, but I enjoy playing that and finding that beautiful point in each song, because I don't feel like any song is really that sacred that we can't play them.
But also because of the sound that you make and the attitude that you play it with and the depth of the feeling that you put in it, I think you elevate things too, or at least personalize them in such a way that everyone can hear the depth of something that they might not have recognized had that type of depth. And I think that's huge.
Because I know when I played the Feelings on the cruise, I played it one night. I said, okay, I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna annoy the musicians.
Yeah.
And I played it. And
not after you play the first 8 bars, nobody's.
There were five guys came up to me and said, I finally learned how to play that song. And what I did was just slow the tempo down and took the rhythm out of it and played the melody with the piano, and you got a beautiful song.
Mhm.
There's something in every song. We may not hear it at first, as I had my share of them. Funny Valentine was one of mine. I used to say, why do people go crazy when I play this? You know, I hate it. And then one night I went home and I decided to look at the lyrics. Solve my problem.
Maestro Ron Carter plays it every night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now, speaking of jazz writers, though, Benny Carter is one of my favorite writers. He writes great songs.
You made a beautiful album with Warren Vacher of all of Benny's songs.
Yeah, that's right.
Of some of Benny's songs. He wrote so many.
Yeah, and I think I redid that album with Warren for Arbors. We did the Benny Carter Songbook.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great writer. Benny Golson, all the Bennies.
Yes.
Great stuff.
I'm interested.
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, I'm interested in how you got involved with your special relationship that you have with singers. Of course, with Etta Jones, especially, but that unique combination and unique chemistry between a tenor saxophonist or alto, but especially tenor, and a great vocalist, and the way that you draw on each other, and how that kind of came to be a central part of your expression.
I don't know. I always wanted to have a singer in a band, you know, so it just so happened that when I met Etta, she didn't have a band. So I found my singer.
How many years did you?
We stayed together 35 years.
35 years.
Yeah. And then I was recording with every known singer there is. I've done a lot of recording with vocalists. I just like to enhance lyrics. And I always try to impart to the vocalist that, you know, I'm there to make her sound good, but we're here to enhance this lyric, you know. And if we approach it that way, you'll get what you want out of it, and I'll get what I want out of it.
It seems that in every answer, it's not about you. It's about the music and the other people, the listeners, the audience, the other musicians you're playing with, the composers. Your humility speaks for itself.
Oh, well.
Yet,
man, I'm a braggart.
No, you are a maestro, Houston. You really are. There's nobody like you. And you are a master of your craft in every way and art.
Thank you. Thank you. Trying.
Houston, can you talk about the art of playing behind a singer?
Yeah. Well, your job is to really enhance that lyric, thereby making her sound better. And the most important thing is to know is when not to play. That means that you should be familiar with the lyrics and the spaces involved, and use some of the space and know which spaces to fill. And make sure that you leave the vocalist enough room to express the lyric, unencumbered by what you may consider to be your masterpiece.
That's the pianist's job as an accompanist too, to weave a carpet.
Yeah. Well, you're great at it. Bill. You,
We both, you
I've
and I,
seen
have a
you.
mutual
I've
love of
seen you
the
do.
song and the lyrics. So
I've seen you do your thing. But yeah, but that's what it is. You wanna tell that story. Let her tell that story. And there's always a little space left for you to shine, to show what you do. Now, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to go crazy and do something not related to not related to what you're doing, the lyric of the song and the story you're trying to tell. So you have to be mindful of that. I guess that's why a lot of musicians don't like it. And then you got to be ready to let the vocalist get all the credit, and your credit will come later, because in the way of your calendar.
I have a feeling the way that you've worked with so many vocalists is by having your phone on the hook.
That's right.
Each time it goes on the hook, it rings and you have to pick it up.
That's right.
Back on the hook, there's somebody
That's right.
calling you.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's very interesting. So in fact, a few vocalists I have coached. I don't know where they got it from, but they say, I'd rather have you than a coach. I've done some of that. Never understood.
A lot of producing in the last
yeah,
20, 30 years.
Yeah, I did a lot, yeah. But that really makes me feel good, though, that they appreciate me.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, what is a producer? What role do you take as a producer?
Staying out of the way, basically. Well, it's more organized and administrative. You leave people to their own devices, but you try to help with the material. And if you get people that really listen to what you're telling them, you're successful and they trust you. And that's about the main thing, getting people to trust you and be a spokesman and be a liaison between the artist and the company. A lot of times, because a lot of musicians don't want to speak for themselves, just not able to blow their own horn. And you got to be a little aggressive, and as you all know, and a little crazy to be in this business in the first place. So, but
did you do a lot?
But I enjoy it. And you remind musicians, I was doing a guy, great guy, was playing. He said, "I'm gonna play today. I want to play it." And he's playing. Okay, I say, "That's it." He said, "Oh man, let's play some more." I said, "Okay." I said, "You want to give away an album?" He thought for a minute and said, "All right, that's it, fellas, that's it." But you have to be on both sides. It's both sides of the fence. You want to help the musicians first. That's first. And they know that I'll do that. So a lot of them came, a lot of musicians, because I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just doing my own albums. And then musicians started coming and asking me. So it just grew and evolved. And I enjoy it very much.
Was this with a number of record labels, or all mostly with one or two?
I did a lot of independents and mostly High Note and Muse. Mm-hmm. And I did a couple for arbors, but it wasn't my profession. I mean, it wasn't my, but I had a lot of it, so I enjoyed it.
Mm. You have both mentioned Ron Carter. You made what, 4 recordings with Ron? More.
9.
Like I said, 9. Yeah, I'm not aware. Can you talk about that relationship? That's a
Oh yeah.
very wonderful combination.
Yeah, I met him at a union meeting, and we talked. We had a nice time together. We just seen Mel together, and he had me. He called me one day and asked me to go on a tour to Japan. So now Ron knows a lot of tunes too. He's got a glossary, a lot of tunes, and a lot of lyrics. But we went to Japan. He had Lonnie Smith and Eric Gale, but we did an album before that. And we went on a Japanese tour to support the album, I guess, back in those days. And we had a ball. We stayed over like 13 days. Grady Tate was the drummer. And you couldn't go wrong with that rhythm section. So, and we go for walks every day. And we just whistle tunes to each other, and he finished the phrase with the lyric. So I warm up every day, and then I'd play with him. I'd say, Ron, let me run this on you. And I'd play, and he'd play. We play, and then I'd say, when I get back, we're gonna do an album. So I went to Joe Fields, and I said, I got a great idea. Just tenor and bass, and you can hear. And he didn't want to hear it. He said, just do it. So that comes from me producing all these other records that he trusted me. And people in France, they put it in the school system, that first album we did.
Well, it's a magnificent connection that you have together.
It is.
Yeah, because when I went to Paris, I was walking by the subway train station, and little kids were hollering, Mr. Person, Mr. Person. I said, how the heck do they know me? And one of the guys say, they got that album. They was running that album through the school system.
Fantastic.
So we were doing something right, because Joe would ask for one he just say, do one, and he put it on the shelf, and just pick a spot to release it. And I was still doing my other albums, and Ron was doing his. So we've had a good run.
Yeah. And just for the audience, what is the title of that first album that you were
The first one?
Yeah.
Something in Common. Yeah, got some awards and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask a saxophone question?
You can ask it. I don't know whether I'll answer it.
How long, ever since I've been hearing you've always played a Mark VI. Is that the kind of saxophone you've always had?
No. I had a Con and a Dolnay of the French saxophone.
Yeah.
But I think the Con was the best. We were talking about this the other day. Well, Con was a band instrument. They ruled the band field. Yeah. You could play it in storms, blizzards, break it up against the wall, do whatever you want to do with it, and it still worked, still played.
Yeah.
And so, because everybody played Con then,
Yeah.
But the Selma had the A flat key closer to the hand that made fingering a little better.
Yes.
That's why everybody favors the, and none of the other saxophones changed it, as far as I know.
No. Yeah, that key stack's different on them.
Yeah.
Especially a 6. It's just very easy.
Yeah, that's the Mark 6.
Yeah. Is that the same horn you've had? Now I'm getting into. Is it the same horn you've always had? Same one? Or
Yeah, I've got 2. And yeah, the one is the same that I've had. I had both of them for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they heavy, all the good metal.
Yeah.
You know, no plastic, no synthesized, no synthes.
Yeah.
You know, none of that stuff.
You know, there's a legend that I don't know if they've ever proved it or disproved it, but that it's made out of the Mark 6s are made out of World War II shell casings.
I don't know. All I know is it's good metal.
Talk about, yeah.
If so,
Talk
they've
about-
turned them into weapons of peace.
Yes. Talk about from swords into plowshares. They actually melted down shells. And the story is in 1974 or whenever it was, they ran out of shell casings and had to go to other models. And it's still good, but it's not the Mark 6.
Yeah, I know, but I do like the French.
Mm-hmm.
But heck, you can get music out of anything if you really want to.
I have the feeling that you would sound just as great on a length of garden hose, I believe. But you know,
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
from Home Depot.
I won't try that though.
The next record.
No, yeah, next record.
Oh man.
So when the two of you, when you play together, do you wait until you're about to walk out on stage to talk about what you're going to play?
I know one thing is for sure. Houston, you pick the set.
Okay.
Like you said before.
Well,
That's the way
I'll
to
tell
go.
you another side though. Bill and I did a duo album,
Mm-hmm.
and that grew out of the trust that I had from the Ron Carter album. That grew out of into Bill and I.
Wow.
doing
Well, you know,
that.
it's a deep honor for me when you asked me to do that. And I'm very proud that that exists. And
Yeah,
it was
people always ask about that album. I don't know why companies don't pursue more of that, duos.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's really a separate cachet for that kind of presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Louis
Yeah.
Armstrong and Earl Hines, Jim
Yeah.
Hall and Bill Evans. I mean, there's Jimmy Rolls,
Yeah.
Al Cohn, all these, so many beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
Cedar
Yeah.
Walton and Ron Carter,
Mm-hmm.
lots. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
It's a
well,
special communication.
we are documented.
Yes.
Yes. And beautifully so. Are you going to play anything from that album on this concert?
Of course. And then we're gonna move on.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I always love playing with Bill. There's nothing he can't play.
Well,
He's just call it and just start. He'll be there.
you make it very, very easy. And it's just a magic carpet.
Well, you know, melody is great. Just finding beauty in the melody.
Mhm.
And you make it, and you put a beautiful sound on it, and that's about all you need.
You can always get off and on the carousel with the melody.
Yeah,
You can always come back there. And if it's always
yeah.
there and guides everything you do, you'll always be in good shape, of course.
Now, a tune that we might play something that that really is a great tune, interesting tune that nobody wants to play, but Bill and I, of course, is People.
Okay.
Jules Stein.
Yes.
That is a melody. If you play it on the saxophone, it feels good playing it.
Yeah.
Because the notes are deceiving. Seem like it's modulating or changing keys every phrase, but they're so linked and so, boy, I'm selling this song.
You are. You've sold it to me.
But-
What key, Houston?
Oh, in the key of C, it's a great tune. It's a great tune that you would find enjoyable.
Oh, I know it well.
Yeah.
Actually, on that subject, Houston, when you're playing a tune and you fall in love with it, do you find that you gravitate to your own key, or do you tend to stick with the original key?
Sometimes I stick with the original key, and sometimes I play in the beautiful range of the horn.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the notes, I look at the staff, and if things go too far low or too far high, then I change the key.
Mm-hmm.
But I want it right in that center spot.
Mm-hmm.
Then if I want to elaborate, I've got room on both ends to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I generally try to stay in the original key, but the original key isn't that important. Not when you got this guy. Now there is, you have to make allowances sometimes when you're on the road, but the musicianship on the road is so great now.
Yeah.
You don't have problems like that,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a song that's really interesting.
Yes. It's a magnificent song.
There's another song. Just name it. Songs.
Keep going.
A Rodgers and Hart song called "You're Nearer."
Oh, we'll do that. What key do you do that in? You're nearer than my head is to my pillow. You're nearer than the wind is to the willow.
Yeah. See, he knows the lyric, and that's Perry Como did that in a definitive version for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
What key do you like that one in, Houston? We're rehearsing right now.
Yeah, I was going to say this may be the only
F.
Meet the Artist the series where we made the set and rehearsed.
Well, we've got two. You're nearer than people.
well, a tune that Bill really likes to do is
I love
Wonderful. Wonderful.
That's always good. I bet you play that in E flat.
Yes, we better.
That's good. Now we got three. This is going very well.
Well, we can go over to like a pretty ballad is like Maybe You'll Be There.
Now I've got to go to school.
Oh, no.
Maybe You'll Be There. You'll have to teach me that. Who wrote that?
Sammy Gallup.
Well, I'll have to do a little homework there, but I will. Maybe.
Yeah, you got it. It's there. It's there.
I'm sure. What key for that?
How about a Fool's Rush In
That's easy.
with the verse?
Okay. You got it.
Oh, maybe you'll be there. We'll do the verse too.
Okay. What key for those two?
Maybe you'll be there as E flat. E
Okay.
flat.
And Fools?
And what did I say?
Fools rush
Fools
in.
Rush In.
What?
Fools Rush In, where angels dare to tread.
Oh yeah, that's in C.
See, okay.
Yeah.
We've got 5 now.
Hey man, you're all right. You're all right. You're all right.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So those are great. Now a good tune that you might enjoy is How Little We Know.
Oh, I love that. Sure.
Wait a minute now. There's 2.
Oh, are you talking
Which
about
one am I
Hoagie?
talking about?
I don't know. Are you talking about Hoagie Carmichael?
I'm not talking about that one.
Okay.
It's the other one.
Okay. Well, I'll have to go to school on that one too.
Yeah, okay, that's in the A flat.
Okay.
So that's enough. We'll give away the whole show.
All right. All right.
People
Well,
know what we're playing.
Wonderful place to start.
Okay, we got us a start. That's
Beautiful.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how a rehearsal happens. This is a rehearsal at this level. Beautiful.
and we're gonna do a duet on the first. Let's see, on the first page of the duet of the Microcosmos, Volume 1.
Oh, we'll just skip over to volume 6.
Yeah, no.
And what key do
And
you
alone.
do those in? That's the other
All
thing.
12. Oh man.
Well,
Yeah.
I know this is going to
I
be.
got all the volumes. But one was mine.
Yeah.
Book 1, page 1.
That's all right. That's Hungarian folk music. Beautiful.
Well, I know this is going to be just a wonderful concert and a great way to end this season. I'm looking forward to it already. And,
Okay.
Even though we're all, via video, this is going to be a great, you're going to be documenting this in a way too.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me, inviting me.
Well,
I'm going to enjoy it.
this is a mutual invitation from the two of us.
Yes.
I know. And it's going to be a gift to all of us.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, David. And thank you, Houston. And it's always
All right.
an honor and a delight to be with you and to make music with you, Houston.
All right, man. Especially when you can have a rehearsal now. It's
Right. It's been a delight to be at this rehearsal too. Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, thanks to both of you. And
All right.
I know the audience is going to treasure this concert. I know I will.
Me too.
Thanks a million.
All right.